Kids have an intuitive sense, like I said, about people touching them. And this is something I say to parents, and this is something you can use with your parents, not for social workers, because I know you all know this. Many times when grandparents come and they have a 6-month-old baby, the grandma walks in and she immediately wants to hold the baby. The baby starts protesting, crying, screaming, and the parents will push the baby into grandma's arms. If you have a 6-month-old and they're protesting, say to the grandma, she will snuggle with you in about an hour. But right now she's saying no, and I'm teaching her to respect boundaries. Boundaries start very young. And some parents teach their kid at a very young age that their boundaries are not important. You putting your 6-month-old in the arms of grandma who's protesting is not respecting their boundary. And that's just something I like to share to parents. And parents always say, oh, I never thought of that. I thought they wouldn't care. They're so young. They know. I think they know. And you're starting to just set the precedence of, it's okay to do something that doesn't feel right for my body. You want kids to listen to their body because their bodies have the answers to this. So you want them to be in tune with their bodies. Like I said, it's not going to be a hard sell when you talk to kids. They will understand everything that you're saying. And as I said, as they get older, their conversations will change, and this conversation will be ineffective. When I first started doing this work, the average age that kids were approached was 5 years old. One day I was giving a presentation. This lady comes up to me afterwards and she goes, Julie, you're wrong. The age now that children are most likely being harmed is 4. I was mortified, but I said thank you, and that was years ago. I bet it's moved down, but I did not want to Google it. So if the average age that kids are first approached by a perpetrator is 4 years old, you have 2 years they're verbal, 2 years they're nonverbal. I think nonverbal kids can understand this information. They might not be able to articulate back to you what they're hearing, but your words are resonating with what they already know.
Hi, families. My name is Julie Federico. I work as a child abuse prevention advocate, and I'm here today to talk to you about body safety. I'm trying to make child abuse a public health issue. When you ride a bike, you wear a helmet. When you ride in the car, you wear a seatbelt. If someone touches you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, you tell a trusted adult. That is body safety in and of itself. Children, I want you to know, if someone's touching you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, tell a trusted adult. If they don't listen to you, tell someone else. There are people out there that will help you. Your body is your own, and you get to decide who touches you, when, and where. That's my message for you today. Please stay safe. Bye-bye.
I chose not to talk about everything with kids. I wanted to talk about something rather than nothing, and I didn't want to talk about everything because I knew the kids wouldn't understand that. It just doesn't work with a 3-year-old to throw this whole hornet's nest of information and sexuality at them. That's just way over their head. But they do understand this. They do understand it because my daughter understood it. All those kids in Hartford, Connecticut that were 3 years old understood it. So I know kids can understand this information. I think the hesitancy comes with some adults, and we're working on that. And I will keep doing this in other venues, in other places. And one day I hope to be on PBS doing this nationwide because kids understand this. And if we can get kids communicating to school personnel, trusted adults, if I used to do in-person presentations, I haven't for a while, I'd like to build a house of cards. And I would have done this if we were in person. So that you have this huge house of cards. Child abuse is built on silence, and child abuse is very scary. It's very scary to talk about. It's very scary to think about it. You take one card out of that house of cards, you take out silence, whole house crumbles. It just falls in a second. There's no resistance. But right now, we are kind of in social services, child advocacy centers, and different agencies dealing with child abuse. I would like for you guys to think about partnering with your public health office in your local city, because that would be a step in the right direction. But silence is what this is built on. So I want kids to be talking. Like I said, a lot of parents don't say anything. either from their own trauma or they don't know what to say. The other mistake parents make is they wait until the kid starts to do sleepovers around 8 or 9, and then they have this big talk with them before the sleepover. That's way too late. So that's about 4 years between 4 and 8. That's too long. 8 is not the time to have this conversation. Sleepovers is not the time to have this conversation. And this is something I like to recommend that parents do with babysitters. When parents hire a babysitter, the first thing they should say to them is, my kids have been trained in Julie Federico's body safety.